Have you ever been just chilling on the couch? The house is quiet, and all of a sudden your dog shoots up and starts barking at what seems like absolutely nothing, or so you think. Okay, let's get into this, because what we're about to explore is probably going to change the way you see your dog's world forever. For so many of us, this is a really familiar and honestly a pretty stressful situation. You know, a firework goes off, there's a rumble of thunder miles away, or you just turn on the vacuum cleaner and suddenly your dog is trembling, hiding, just genuinely distressed. And get this, studies suggest that maybe up to half of all pet dogs out there are dealing with some kind of fear related to noise. So you have to wonder, what is really going on? Is your dog just being difficult, or are they tuned into something that we're completely missing? Well, the answer is all about the incredible, and I mean incredibly different way that they actually hear the world. To really get why they react the way they do, we first have to understand the world they're living in, and that means we need to compare our sensory experience side by side with theirs. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That super quiet sound you can just barely make out from across the room, yeah. Your dog can hear that same sound crystal clear from 4 times farther away. It's a whole different level of awareness. It's wired into their biology. It's a true fear response to things that in their world are very real and very, very loud. Okay, so here are the 2 big ideas. You've got frequency, which is measured in hertz. That's basically just the pitch of a sound, like a high-pitched squeak versus a low rumbly bass. Then you have intensity measured in decibels, which is just how loud something is. And folks, these 2 things are where our worlds completely and dramatically split. All right, let's actually put some numbers on this, because when you see it laid out like this, the difference is it's staggering. And wow, this chart really shows you the gap in what we can hear. We humans, we max out at around 20,000 hertz. Now look at dogs. They can hear all the way up to 45,000 hertz, maybe even higher. That means there is literally an entire universe of high-pitched sound happening around us all the time. That to us is just complete silence. But it's not just about the high pitches, it's also about how quiet a sound can be. So for us, the softest sound we can possibly hear is what we call 0 decibels. A dog, they can hear sounds down to -15 decibels. They're literally built to pick up on sounds that are physically impossible for our ears to even register. Okay, so we know what they can hear is mind-blowing, but the next question is how? How do they do it? Because their hearing system isn't just a souped-up version of ours, it's like a whole different piece of advanced biological tech. And it all starts with the ears themselves. That outer part of a dog's ear, the technical term is pinnae, they aren't just cute and fuzzy. They are seriously sophisticated tools for capturing sound waves. The best way to picture it is like they have 2 furry little satellite dishes on their head. Each one can move all on its own, scanning the entire area around them, figuring out exactly where a sound is coming from. They're constantly building this perfect 360-degree sound map of their world with insane precision. The science is super cool, right? But let's bring it all back home, back to your dog in your living room barking at what seems to be thin air. Why does any of this matter in your day-to-day life? It matters because, for a dog, the world is never ever truly quiet. What we think of as a peaceful, silent home is to them this constant symphony of high-frequency hums, distant noises, and tiny rustles. It is a much louder, more surprising, and frankly, a much more intense place to live. And just look at this list. These are things we all have in our houses. The high-pitched whine from a digital alarm clock, that squeal from a tea kettle, even the from our electronics. They're all blasting out sounds that your dog can hear perfectly, but you can't. That vacuum cleaner isn't just loud. To your dog, it's also letting out this high-frequency scream. So here's the real takeaway. When your dog reacts to a noise, They're not overreacting to your world. They are having a perfectly normal reaction to theirs. And once you truly understand that fundamental difference, it's a game changer. It stops being about discipline and starts being about empathy for an experience that we just can't share. It really changes everything, doesn't it? It shifts the whole question from how do I stop my dog from barking to what is my dog trying to tell me about the world that I can't even hear. So the next time your house is quiet, just take a second, look at your dog, and ask yourself, what are they hearing right now?